I absolutely love when a modern artist is somehow able to make music that sounds like it came out from a time long past. Think of the 70s surf pop vibe of the duo Tennis, or, for a deeper cut, The Nude Party. I have no idea how this got here, oh my god. But finally, someone brought back the sound of classic disco, and that is Jessie Ware with That Feels Good. Wait. Okay, technically, Kylie Minogue did it first in 2020 with her album Disco, but I much prefer Jessie Ware's version as we're talking about today. Either way, 30-year-old gay men, you can now put down your pitchforks. Speaking of pitchforks, 8.3? Girl, you better work. Now, I say I've been hungry and I've been missing out on disco music because I absolutely love disco music. It is one of the greatest powers queer people, especially queer people of color, were ever given. To use my favorite quote from my favorite television show, disco is the sound of liberation, of sex, of lust, of embracing the differences you have against the societal norm and having fun with it. It's not exactly like disco music has just completely disappeared. In fact, its influence in pop music has been on the rise in the last 5 years. You can think of Dua Lipa with her album Future Nostalgia definitely having some shades of disco in there. Beyoncé ended her latest and greatest album with the song Summer Renaissance, which was a tribute and an interpolation of the most famous disco song of all time, probably, Donna Summer's I Feel Love. Carly Rae Jepsen, her last album had a bonus track, Keep Away, that sort of gave me a moody disco vibe to it. And perhaps the best examples that most people can think of off the top of their head, Lizzo did Juice and her other song About Damn Time, which both give 70s disco vibe down. But to describe That Feels Good as disco-influenced, as all those aforementioned, would only be scratching the surface of what this album has accomplished. It is disco music. To make a very niche comparison, the Apple TV series Schmigadoon has a bevy of references to Broadway musicals long past, but the team is still able to create a unique story that fits right in with the content they drew inspiration from. And That Feels Good is like Thanksgiving dinner to those of us who love and appreciate disco music. If you know your disco, you're going to recognize those glimmers of songs from the past. The stinging piano chords on the song Free Yourself vaguely reminds me of the song I've Got the Next Dance by Denise Williams. The clinking percussion and cowbells on the song Beautiful People feel ripped straight from the song Shake Your Groove Thing by Peaches and Herb. And the nominal That Feels Good has a subtle hint of the song Ain't Nothing But a Party by A Taste of Honey. Oh my gosh, is this the original pressing? How did that get here? But Jessie Ware has done more than, oh, that song reminds me of this other song. It's a lot more than that. She's used all the right ingredients that a true appreciator of the genre would pick out. She knows all the little nuances that makes disco special. For example, mixed sex vocals, both masculine and feminine, on the absolutely stacked harmonies littered throughout this entire album. Then there's the use of the cowbell that's found in a lot of these songs, a funky bass guitar because, of course, what is disco without good bass, and the walls of horns found in songs like These Lips, Shake the Bottle, and, my personal favorite, the 5-minute delicacy that is Begin Again. The moment that made me go, oh, she knows what disco is, was the inclusion of the dramatic, almost tragic sounding strings in the song Pearls. That's something that only someone who has looked through a lot of disco would recognize as a common thread throughout the entire genre. And, of course, this album is about sex, because all of the best disco songs from the past were pretty much doing anything they could to sing about banging without just forthright saying it. I mean, look at Sylvester, Rock the Box, Loving Is Really My Game, the song Sex. Okay, well that might be a bad example, but nevertheless, Jessie Ware is fully aware of how to make a sexual innuendo here. Matthew was a classic, just like his pickup truck. He still lives with his mother, but he sure can. Ooh! And of course, I'd be remiss in not mentioning the closing track of this album, These Lips. Dun 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 dun. Honey, she's not talking about smooching, all right? She's talking about her flaps. She's talking about her lovin' oven. She's talking about her Virgo's groove. I'm going to jail for that one. I'm going to jail for that one. There's only two low points in this album, I guess, and I wouldn't even say they're that low. The first would be the song Hello Love, which is like this sort of romantic disco song, and I'm not really a fan of the romance sound in disco. It just doesn't speak to me. She's doing exactly what she set out to achieve with that song, and it doesn't sound bad. It's just not for me. And then there's the song Lightning, which just frankly is not disco. There is no beating around the bush here. The verse of this song isn't really all that memorable. It doesn't really sound all that interesting. However, everything else in the song, chorus and beyond, is phenomenal. It might not be disco music, but if anything, I would describe Lightning as, and I know this is very strange to say, but vaporwave? So that's really cool, to be honest. So, my imaginary hat is off to you, My hat is off to you, Jessie Ware, because this album just feels like the culmination of years of buildup of the little hints of disco we've gotten through modern music. I hope this means disco is just back. Either way, thank you for watching.